Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Orientation 100B live etiquette presentation. I'm Dr. Truesdale, and you all are home, and we are here experiencing some very weird times. COVID-19. We usually have a presentation in the GLC auditorium where students can get a chance to have a hands-on experience with this. But since we can't, we're going to do the best that we can to ensure that you can practice some of these tips at home. Now, you can't go to a restaurant, but you can set the table and prepare dinner and use some of these ideas. So, you've set the table at home. You're going to start off with your napkin, and the napkin can be placed anywhere. You can place it in the coffee cup, in the water glass, or anywhere that you may like. So, we're looking at what's called a place setting. You have your soup or cereal bowl. You have your salad plate, which can also be used for dessert. And you have your dinner plate. So, you might ask, what is this used for and what is it? This is actually called a charger, and it has no use other than to make the table setting look good. So, you definitely will remove that before you start to eat. So, you have your dinner plate here. You start off with your salad fork. It's always on the left, okay? Your dinner fork. You might ask, what's the difference between a salad fork and a dinner fork? Your salad fork has serrations, and it is smaller than the dinner fork. All right, your knife, butter knife, is always placed on the right, and it can be used for cutting vegetables, but not meat. If you have a steak or pork chop or chicken, you will have a different knife to use. You also have your tablespoon, which can be used for your soup or cereal. And you have a smaller spoon. This is your teaspoon. You will use this for your coffee. Now, your coffee cup is always on the right side. I am not a coffee drinker, so if I go out to a restaurant, what I'll automatically do if I have a coffee cup is turn the cup over, which indicates that I do not want any coffee. And the waiter or waitress will immediately remove the coffee cup. All right. So, you've sat down to eat, and one thing I notice a lot is that people tend not to know the proper way to hold a fork. Some people will take a fork and hold it like this. Okay, you don't want to put the death grip on the fork. What you want to do is place it between your fingers. Okay? Don't do the death grip on the fork. Now, you've been served food, and you're getting ready to cut some vegetables. You want to take your knife and put it in your right hand. Again, you don't want this. You don't want this at all. You want to hold, say you have a steak or a pork chop, but of course you would have a different type of knife. You want to cut the meat, not into small pieces all at one time. What you want to do is just cut enough that you can eat at that particular time and not too big, okay? So, what do you do with the knife after you've cut your meat? You place it on the side of your plate. You don't put it back down on the placemat or on the tablecloth, okay? Now, you've been served and you need to be excused. So what do? You just say, excuse me. Go do what you need to do and return. You're at a restaurant or you're at home. And what do you do when you get your plate first? Do you start eating? No. You wait until after everyone has been served, unless you're at a restaurant and someone's order has been mixed up and you might want to tell the other 4 people or 5 people at your table, go ahead and start without me so that their food won't get cold. You also have your bread plate. Your bread plate is to the left and it's used to hold your rolls. So you want to make sure that when the rolls are passed to you, you don't take 3 or 4, you only take 1. We're going to talk about the different glasses that we have here. This is your water glass or your iced tea glass, okay? And these are your 2 wine glasses. The smaller wine glass is for your white wine, and the larger glass is for your red wine. And you might ask, why is the red wine glass larger than the white wine glass? Because red wine has a fuller body and it needs to breathe. Okay, so now that we know what to do, I've often seen in some instances where people have gum in their mouth. And my students know that gum is a pet peeve of mine, and basically I don't deal with gum chewers, and you don't chew gum around me. So what do you do with your gum? Do you take it out and put it on the side of your plate? No. What you want to do is excuse yourself, go to the restroom, put your gum in a tissue or paper towel and dispose of it that way. All right. Have some other serving pieces that I want you to know about. And I'm going to have to bring those over towards me. We have the serving fork. The serving fork is used if you have turkey that has been sliced on a platter, ham, or whatever meat that has been cut and placed on a platter. You have your serving spoon. And this spoon is basically for any vegetables with liquid inside. For example, green beans, collard or turnip greens. You dip your greens out and the juice remains. You also have another serving spoon that might be used for potato salad or anything that's not liquid. And you have a ladle. Your ladle is used for gravy. So this is all that this is used for, just to dip the gravy out of the gravy boat. You also have a sugar spoon. Now in this day and age, we have packets of sugar primarily in restaurants, and you won't find this spoon out very often because you have your packets of Sweet and Low and what have you. This is a butter knife. This is used if you have a container of butter to dip the butter and spread onto your roll. We have a cake ladle or pie ladle that you will use to cut your cake. So this is all that this is used for. We have a seafood fork. For example, if you go out or if you bring in now, when you will go out, you might order seafood, but now you might decide that you want crab legs or you want to have lobster. This fork is used to take the meat out of the shells. This is all that this fork is used for, just seafood. And we also have your iced tea spoon. This is used just to stir the iced tea. All right, so I know that everyone may not have a 5-piece place setting of china, all of the serving pieces that we've talked about, but I always say use what you have. And I know once that we can go back out and we're not socially isolated, you may want to visit some of your thrift stores to find pieces that you can put together as place settings. It doesn't have to match. Be creative. But I also have a diagram that you can use for what you may have on hand at this time. So modify, and you can always go out and collect the pieces. But whatever you do, practice and have fun doing it. This is an excellent time to hone in on these skills. And if you have any questions, please email me. Be safe, stay in, and I miss each and every one of you.